Math Guy Steve. All right, so today we're continuing our MGS Calculus Camp. In last lesson, we talked about average rate of change versus instantaneous rate of change. Average rate of change is the slope between 2 points. Instantaneous rate of change is the slope at one exact point. And we said that the derivative gives us that instantaneous rate of change. But the question is, how do we actually find the slope at 1 point? This is where the limit definition comes in. Now, I know this formula can look a little scary at first, but the idea is not new. Again, it's just a slope formula with 2 points getting really close together. Here's the big idea. The derivative is the limits of the slopes. All right, so let's get into it. So the limit definition of the derivative is f prime of x equals the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So let's talk about what exactly this means. F of x is the y value of our initial x value. F of x plus h is the y value at an x value that's h units away. So that numerator, f of x plus h minus f of x, is just the change in y. The denominator, that's just h, which is the change in the x's, the actual x value changing from how much, plus h to x. So this is still change in y over change in x, right? The y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 that we talked about as far as slopes. It's still a slope, but then we let that h approach 0. That means that second point gets closer and closer and closer to that first point. And when those points get infinitely close, that secant line that we referenced earlier becomes the tangent line. And now we have the derivative. So, again, the derivative is just the limit of the slopes. All right, so let's try this first problem. This one says, use the limit definition to find the derivative of f of x equals x squared. Again, our limit definition is f prime of x equals the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay, so how we do this first, okay, our limit definition says, well, we have f of x. That's already given in the problem. Got it. Now we need to find f of x plus h. So let's start there. Let's start with plugging in x plus h into the function, meaning, okay, if f of x is x squared, then f of x plus h is x plus h as a quantity squared. Now, how we square things means to multiply by itself, right? So that would give us, okay, x plus h times itself. So if I simplify that, we would get, okay, FOIL x times x, we get x squared times, we get xh, h times x, another xh, and then h times h would be h squared. Or in other words, combining like terms, we get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Okay, so we got f of x plus h, we got f of x. Let's plug those in to our actual formula. So we know f prime of x is the limit as h approaches 0 of that f of x plus h we just found, which is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, minus all of f of x, and that's important. So minus the whole f of x. F of x is just x squared all over h. And now our goal when trying to simplify what we call this difference quotients, and difference means subtraction, quotient means division, right? We call it the difference quotient. So our goal in trying to simplify this is to get rid of this h in the denominator, okay? The reason why is because when we take limits, remember we said we take limits, we try to plug in the limit first, right? Now if I plug in 0 to start, like even in this original one, right? If I plug in 0, we get f of x plus 0, that's f of x, minus f of x, that's 0, right? Because I'm subtracting something from itself. Divided by, if I plug in 0, we get 0. 0 is 0. That's rule number 1. Can't divide by 0. Or we can try to simplify things, right? We can try to change things a little bit or rearrange things so that we're not dividing by 0. So here, same thing. If I get rid of this h in the denominator, not all the h's, but just this one in the denominator, if I can get rid of this one, then I've simplified it to where when I plug in 0, I'm not dividing by 0. So, like here, if I simplify things, right? This x squared, I have a minus x squared. Those simplify too, they cancel. Meaning, I would get the limits as h approaches 0 of 2xh plus h squared divided by h. But notice, both of my terms in the numerator have an h in them. So dividing by h, I can divide each of them by h individually. Meaning if I take this h and one of these h's, it can cancel with this h in the denominator. So I got rid of that h in the denominator. That's the important part, the one in the denominator. Meaning this gives me the limits as h approaches 0 of 2x plus h. And now that I got rid of that h, I can plug in the h0, right? Meaning, okay, the limit is h equals 0, plug 0 in for that h. Because I'm not dividing by 0 anymore. So that would give me 2x plus 0, which is just 2x. And so there's our limits, or in other words, there's our derivative of this function. That is our f prime of x. That means the slope of any y value of x squared, the slope of that tangent line is just 2x. So at x equals 1, the slope of that tangent line would be 2. At x equals 2, the slope of that tangent line would be 4. Or after, at x equals 3, the slope of that tangent line would be 6. That's what the derivative is telling us. All right, let's try the next one. So this one says, use the limit definition to find the derivative of f of x equals 3x plus 1. Again, here's our limit definition. The same limit definition. Okay, so we know f prime of x equals limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Let's try it. Okay, so again, how we do it? We have f of x already given. Let's find f of x. So f of x is 3x plus 1. So f of x plus h would be plug in x plus h. In other words, that'd be 3 times x plus h plus 1. Simplifying a bit. Okay, get rid of the parentheses, distributing this 3. We get that's 3x plus 3h plus 1. That's as best we can do because there's no like terms. So, plugging those into our limit definition, we get f prime of x. That would be the limits as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h. In other words, 3x plus 3h plus 1 minus the original f of x minus 3x plus 1 all over that h. Now again, that h in the denominator gots to go. Okay, so how do we get rid of it? Well, first let's distribute this negative across that second set of parentheses. So this would be the limits as h approaches 0 of 3x plus 3h plus 1 minus 3x minus 1 all over h. Things gets to canceling, right? The 3x's here cancel, and this plus 1 minus 1 cancels. So what's left is just the limit as h approaches 0 of 3h over h. Again, now we can cancel that h in the denominator. So here the h is canceled. We get this is the limit as h approaches 0 of 3. Again, if I try to plug in, now that the h canceled, I can plug in h is 0. There is nowhere to plug it in. So this would just equal 3. Got it. That is the slope of our tangent line of this function, which makes sense. Again, this function is actually a line. So the slope of that line is 3, right? Y equals mx plus b. So slope of the line is 3, meaning the slope of the tangent line, it's not really a tangent, it's just the line, is 3. So the derivative of this function is 3. No matter what x value I plug in, the derivative is 3. Okay, let's try some more. All right, this says use the limit definition to find the derivative of f of x equals x squared plus 2x. Again, we got the same limit definition. So let's try it. We got the f of x. Got it. F of x equals x squared plus 2x. Okay, we got f of x plus h. We got to find. So how we do that? Plug in x plus h. Okay, so that's x plus h squared. That's a quantity. Squared plus 2 times that x plus h. Let's simplify as best we can. How do we simplify it? Well, we did this earlier. X plus h squared is really okay. Squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Distributing here, 2 times x plus h is 2 plus 2x plus 2h. Okay, so there's our simplified version. There's nothing we can combine because none of those are like terms. All right, so f prime of x, got it. That's the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h. Okay, so that's x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2x plus 2h, okay, minus the original f of x. Now, we gotta be careful with our parentheses. So minus, and then parentheses, x squared plus 2x, and then all of that is over h, okay? The h in the denominator gots to go. Now, here we have parentheses in front of the first one, but there's nothing in front of it, so we can get rid of those parentheses, but the second one, we have to distribute that negative. So we would get the limits as h approaches 0 of x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2x plus 2h, right? Minus x squared minus 2x all over h, and things gets to canceling. Notice what cancels. We got an x squared minus x squared. Those cancel. We got a 2x and then a minus 2x. Those cancel. So what's left is, this is the limit as h approaches 0 of 2xh plus h squared plus 2h all over h. But all those things have an h in them, the ones in the numerator. Meaning I can cancel this h with one of these h's with this h. So that gives me the limits as h approaches 0 of 2 plus h plus 2, because this h in the denominator cancel with all those, one of those h's in the numerator. Now plugging in 0 for h, okay. would give me 2x plus 2. So there is our derivative of x squared plus 2x. So the next one then says, okay, well, what about for f of x equals x squared? Use f prime of x, which we know to be 2x, to find f prime of x at 3 and interpret that result. Okay, so what they mean by that is, okay, let's plug in, here's our derivative. Okay, guys, so f of x, we know is x squared. We just found f prime of x is 2x. So then what is f prime of 3? And let's try to understand what that means. Well, if I plug in 3, we're just plugging in 3 for the x value. We get 2 times 3, which is 6. Got it. So what does that mean? It means that at x equals 3, the slope of the tangent line of this function x squared is 6, meaning the function is increasing at a rate of 6. So again, the derivative is not just a number, it has a meaning. It tells us the slope or the rate of change at some point. All right, so this says for f of x equals 3x plus 1, use your derivative from problem 2 to find f prime of 5 and interpret that result. Let's see what we got. Okay, so from problem 2, we say, okay, if f of x equals 3x plus 1, we said earlier that f prime of x equals just 3. And so how do I find f prime of 5? We're plugging in the value 5 for every x. Now, there is nowhere to plug in the x of 5, so we know it just equals, this is saying it's always equal to 3. Now, why is that? Because this function is just a line. F of x equals 3x plus 1 is just a line. So the slope of the line is always 3. So at x equals 5, the slope is 3. At x equals 10, the slope is 3. At x equals 3 million, the slope is still 3. That means the function is increasing at a constant rate of 3. All right, last one. Concept check. Okay, why does the limit definition use h approaching 0 instead of h equals 0 right away? So this was a really important question. The reason is because, as we said it before, rule number 1 for math people, we're not allowed to divide by 0. So having h in the denominator is an issue. If you plug in h equals 0, we're dividing by 0. We get 0 over 0. And we know we can't divide by no 0. So instead, we take that limit as h approaches 0. We get infinitely close to 0. The limit lets us know exactly what the function is actually approaching near 0 versus actually plugging in 0. So h approaches 0. That's why we don't just plug in 0. We simplify first, then after canceling things, okay, then we can safely plug in that 0. And that's the pattern that we normally use. All right, so here's our big takeaway from lesson 7. The limit definition just comes from the slope formula. The limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. That's that change in the y over the change in x. And then as h approaches 0, that secant line is approaching the tangent line. All right, so that's lesson 7 of our calculus camp. Today we use that limit definition of our derivative. In the next lesson, we're going to learn some basic rules of derivatives, because we don't have to want to use this limit definition every single time we want to take a derivative. The limit definition tells us where that derivative comes from, but those derivative rules kind of help us to find the derivative a little bit easier. As always, keep practicing. And calculus gets a lot easier if we know what the function is doing, what the graph looks like. Always remember, math is everywhere. Have a good one.